on this episode of Podigious.
It sounds like the crack in your butt.
Appmon is listed as like a hacking app, and I'm like, what? That's not a thing.
Your password.
You can use mine to get on the internet.
Podigious.
Welcome to Podigious, episode 308.5. My feedback brings all the mon to the pond.
Digital World Part 2 feedback.
Recorded June 26, 2016.
Podigious is your critically nostalgic analytical tour through the Digimon anime. I'm Jeff Ruberg, and I'm joined by Ashley McDonald.
I have nothing.
You forgot we did this thing. And Asher Softman.
Shavua Tov, folks.
Asher and his Jewness.
I am not the only Jew on this podcast.
Yes, but you're the only one who brings...
You are the only non-Jew on this podcast.
That is actually a fact. Okay, fine.
And speaking of Jews, Andrew is off doing family stuff and not able to make it this week. I was trying to think if there was like a Jewish stereotype I can fit into that, like Jews are lazy. Is that a stereotype?
No, it's not, actually.
Okay.
No, that's not a thing.
Jews make money. Jews are smart. Jews have big noses. Jews own Hollywood. That's a popular one.
Ooh, he's off owning Hollywood with a big nose. That's what he's doing.
Sure. I thought you were making a pun on his name, like and Jew.
Oh, wow. Okay. Anyway, we're trying to keep things not too long this week, both for our time and your own time, listener. You,
but mostly
speaking specifically to you, listener.
Mostly Asher's.
And yeah, mostly Asher's. But okay, so first off, we have Digimon news. I'm gonna start with the smaller stuff and then move into the black hole. You probably know what I'm speaking of. But anyway, so yeah, the first thing that we got new information about the 15th version D arc. Which we mentioned before. I think I forget if we had like full pricing information. We have like pricing information, ship date, pre-order date, all that kind of stuff now. Link in the show notes if you want that information. The thing I thought was worth commenting on, having us talk about, was just that there were a couple of secret cards that hadn't been revealed yet. That come with it's actually a separate thing. It doesn't come with the D-Arc, but you get a separate card pack that is sold along with it. And one of the secret cards revealed is actually Kazu's fake blue card that he gives Staccato in the one episode.
Quality.
Yeah. That's a funny thing for them to throw in. I think it's in addition to like an actual blue card, a red card, and a couple other interesting things. And also in honor of the passing of Wada Koji and Yuko Mizutani. If you don't know, Yuko Mizutani was the voice actress of Sora in the original Adventure in Zero 2 Japanese version. And in honor of their passing, they are re-releasing CDs of their music and character songs. So that doesn't really affect us much in the West unless you want to import them, and you can import them. I'll link in the show notes with a little thread that has CD Japan links, so you can import these. And I prefer to buy things digitally, so I don't think this really affects that. But if you do want to import them, this makes it easier to import them without crazy. I think some of them were like really rare if you wanted a physical copy, and now they're cheaper because they're being released. That's cool. And the black hole of news is Appmon. We last talked about Appmon, I think it was about a month ago. It was like right when the news had first come out that there was a thing called Appmon, and we basically like ran down like all the information we could find about it, because at the time there was a limited amount of information. It was like I felt like it was a surmountable task, and now I feel like it's an insurmountable task to even talk about all the news. So there's just been tons of stuff. There's been trailers, tons of information. I'm basically going to do a quick rundown of, I think, the most important highlights, but we'll have a link to this. It basically like one with the well thread that has like all the information, and if you want to pour over and get more details, it's there. Unfortunately, a bunch of the PVs, or a bunch of the trailers that were released on YouTube, it seemed like were restricted. I definitely watched some of them when they came out, and I think since then have been region locked, which is kind of frustrating. So some of them are kind of hard to find now. But if you go to with the well thread, you can find links on that and hopefully find mirrors for the ones that are missing. So anyway, first highlight, there's basically, so if you haven't been following Appmon, it's going to be like a multimedia franchise with games, cards, anime, and so part of this is this toy. It's probably not going to make it to the West, but it's a Japanese thing that's like a machine where you get a card out, and then you keep your cards around and put them into a machine. It's Bandai's Card DOS, but I just wanted to talk about it because it's spelled out. It's Card DOS. It looks like card ass.
Card ass.
So it's the new Appmon Card Ass toys. Like, I mean, I'm sure that joke's been made tons of times by people who are familiar with this, but this is something that was new to me, so I'm sure it's new to some people. But yeah, I think actually we saw things like that at Japan. I don't think they were actually card DOS, because the main thing we saw was the Pokemon ones, where like we saw that that one person who was like a salaryman who had just like a huge stack of all the different Pokemon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't Miles get some of these? Oh, yeah, this game.
Yeah, I got some of them too. But there was that one salaryman who just had everything and was like, whoa, okay, that's intense.
He was very into it.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of like a novelty. Maybe we'll be able to see it when we visit Japan, because stuff's supposed to come out in the fall. But aside from that, I don't think it's going to have much of an effect on the West, aside from importing rare things like May will probably do. And the next thing I want to have all of us talk about is just the there's finally a poster. So the main thing I want to talk about this poster, I think the main thing it's new is just the reveal of the protagonist.
He's so okay.
the predominant reaction I saw from the fan community was he looks like the protagonist of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, which I think is kind of a stretch.
I mean, I just think he looks boring.
He looks boring.
Yeah.
His hair is bad.
I mean, it's Digimon. His hair should actually be worse.
It's bad in a new way.
It's bad in a boring way.
Yeah.
So I'm putting a link in the show notes both to this poster and to the Arc V, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V protagonist that everyone compares him to. I don't think they look that similar. I mean, I guess Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V character has goggles, but that's about it. Has a piece of hair sticking up and similar hair color.
I mean, yeah, I can see that, but they don't actually look the
Right.
same.
It's like
Yeah.
all those like details on paper sound similar, but actually they don't look very similar.
Right.
Is this a dude? Okay, I guess so. I don't know.
The main character? Yes, he's a dude.
That child looks very effeminate. I don't know.
You can tell because he's not wearing a skirt or a ribbon.
I mean, obviously.
He has his hand in a fist, and
Oh,
women
yeah, that
can't-
too.
Girls can't do
Yeah.
fists.
Actually, the girls do have their hands in fists.
Shh, shh.
The two girls
I can tell
in this
because
photo.
he doesn't have boobs. It was basically what it
Well, it's actually hard to tell in this shot that he doesn't have boobs. Is the problem.
I don't know. Seems pretty
Yeah.
clear.
Also, I mean, I'm looking at I pasted. I'm going to put another image in the show notes. It's a comparison of the various Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonists, and he's the one that looks the most like a Digimon character. The other ones all look.
I don't know. What's his name on the right? Jaden? Is that his name?
I don't know.
He looks like a Jaden.
I mean, yeah, they're basically two characters that don't have huge, crazy highlights, and it's this RKV one and Jaden. Is that from GX? No, GX is the one in the bottom left, because that's the
I
motorcycle.
mean, don't ask
No,
that's the 5Ds.
me.
Anyway, okay, let's go.
I don't even know anybody on this page except that's not Yugi. Like, what's happening?
Okay, let's get off this Yu-Gi-Oh! Tangent. Yeah, the protagonist looks kind of bland. Not very exciting. I'm keeping open mind to see how it actually plays out, because maybe he'll be an interesting character in the anime. No, his character design is kind of bland. And the next thing is there's this franchise PV, which is kind of like an introduction. I don't know if any of you saw this. It's the one where like it starts off like in the real world, and it's like just like people walking around Japan, and they're like, my smartphone's acting up. And then surprise, there's actually Appmons inside of it. It's kind of hard to watch now because the YouTube video is region locked, but I'm putting a link in the show notes to a mirror of it. Hopefully, if this mirror goes down, there are other mirrors and stuff, or hopefully eventually gets unregion locked. But the main thing I want to talk about this trailer was the reveal of other kids for the anime. So there's a link in our show notes to this picture of the other kids. So there's the main guy, whose name I didn't write down, something Shinkai, and these three other kids who have different Appmon. What do you think?
I like the guy on the left.
The yellow guy?
Yeah, he's my favorite.
He looks derpy.
It looks like a cat almost.
And it's probably the point.
I like this emo kid on the right.
Of course you do.
Of course I
Like,
do.
we're so predictable.
Why do we even bother talking anymore?
We should just have a hive mind already.
But I like the girls Digimon the most.
Yeah, I like how the girl seems
she
to
got
having
the
the
cool one.
fighting, the Appmon that's like all fighting, brawly kind of.
Yeah.
Briefly, just mentioning there an announcement about the staff for the anime, which is also supposed to premiere in the fall. This isn't like huge news to me. I was kind of hoping Andrew brings up so he could comment on this, but series director is Go Koga, who did series direction for Doki Doki Pretty Cure, series composition by the person who did series composition for Yokai Watch and Aikatsu, which I know Andrew's pretty obsessed with Aikatsu, right?
Yes.
Remember we went to Japan, he was like, you need to play Aikatsu. So, and character design by character designer of Gundam Build Fighters. All those are series that I've heard things about, but not like hugely spectacular things. None of them are like, you need to watch this because of this contribution or anything. So I don't know. It's gonna be an anime. I'm not like extremely excited about it. I know Yokai Watch is very popular, but I haven't really heard much about Yokai Watch anime outside of that. So
It's for small children, which is probably why.
yeah,
Like, actually very small children.
yeah.
It's,
I mean,
yeah.
of these three roles, like series director, series composition, and character designer, I think probably composition is the most relevant for our tastes. Like they can have bad character designs and bad direction and have an interesting story. But if there's no interesting story and interesting character designs, I don't think we're gonna stick with it very well with our tastes. And there's a kind of just full information about the 6 main Appmon so far. I thought we could talk about. So there's that link, a little bit link in the show notes, this image of 6 different Appmon. It's the one in the show notes. It's the one in here that's thoughts on the Appmon. So there's Gachmon, Yuzimon, Hackmon, Navimon, Dokomon, and Cameramon. And most of this news kind of confirmed the stuff that Andrew had speculated. He was pretty on point with a lot of speculation. Although Gachmon is not based on Q at all. But
Yeah.
Gachmon's kind of cool. It's kind of a weird thing for Gachmon to be like the main mascot. He doesn't seem like the most compelling.
So this Hackmon.
Yeah, so this Hackmon is a different, like, why? Okay, so I can understand making a new Digimon with the same name. That's happened before in the franchise, especially with dubbing changes and stuff. But like, Hackmon is an important kind of mysterious aspect of Tri, which is running concurrently. Why would you have 2 Hackmons in like prominent roles in both series that are running concurrently? Like, what?
Well, does that confirm that they didn't intend for the romanization of Hackmon to be Hackmon?
No, they're. I mean, so this Hackmon, like, there is romanization in the Japanese site that spells it out in English, Hackmon, but in Japanese they're both spelled the same. So like, it's not like they didn't spell that one Hackmon and they did this one, but it's like in Japanese they're both spelled the same. It's I think it's both haku, like who, small tsu, ku, I think.
Well, that's silly.
I mean, it also looks like Hackmon, this Hackmon like kind of has a cloak on. Maybe he's going to take it off and it's going to be the original Hackmon.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks reminiscent of the original Hackmon.
But it's weird because like this Hackmon is very clearly like doing hacky things, and that one was not. Also, like, so they're also supposed to be based on apps. Like Gachmon is a searching app, Yuzimon is a music app, Navimon is just a maps app, Cameramon is a camera app, Dokomon is a fighting game. Hackmon is listed as like a hacking app, and I'm like, what? That's not a thing. Let me load my hacking app in the App Store.
Well, these all shockingly look kind of cool in their own way.
Yeah, I think Gachmon's probably the one I like the least of these.
No, I like Musimon the least.
Oh, I like Muzimon.
I don't care what you like. Okay.
Ash, who's your favorite? Ash, are you there?
Ash is not paying attention.
I don't care about this thing.
But who's your favorite design?
Musimon, I guess.
You're all so wrong. Anyway.
I also like how Cameramon has just like a million lenses. It's just like...
That's just creepy, actually.
It looks like an infection or something.
I kind of like Cameramon. And I'm like, Cameramon looks like he could beat somebody pretty bad with all those cameras.
Yes, eating with cameras. That's what cameras do, actually.
He's cool. What?
You said you eat someone with the cameras, right?
No, I said beat.
Oh, beat.
B.
Oh, well, I mean, neither of those are things cameras do.
Well, shut up and move on.
And the last thing, there's just information about this 3DS game that's supposed to come out in the fall. I don't know. It's going to be a thing. The main thing people in the fandom are talking about, which I'll have a link in the show notes, this image is just an image of the protagonist walking around. Can you guys look at it? It's just everyone saying that, oh, it's confirmation of there being a different protagonist or customization or something. Maybe it's just going to be colorblind, but I'm like, this doesn't, like, isn't this the same? Like, is this so different?
No,
I'm so confused.
It's different.
What's different? It's like so for people who aren't seeing this, who haven't gotten around to looking on the website or whatever, it's really low resolution. It's really tiny. Is it that the hair is red instead of green?
Well, it looks like he's wearing a hat.
Right, it looks like a hat. I'm like, you can't. And like in the poster artwork for the protagonist, there's like a hat behind.
The clothes don't look the same.
Under the hat, it looks like his hair is brown.
Yeah, it looks like his hair is brown.
And the protagonist from the picture is green from the poster. I mean,
yes, it's green.
These are all the same colors. Like green and brown. Anyway, so that's all the Appmon news. It's kind of just a brief rundown of highlights. There's just so much news at this point that it's hard to keep up with everything. But it's also a weird state where like nothing's actually out. Like if there were things out, there'd be things actually discussed instead of just rumors and speculation. But yeah, so that's all of our news. And now we're going to do some Tri follow-up. This kind of fits into a weird crack between episodes in that we don't have a specific feedback episodes for Tri chapters, but some of this is stuff that's news that has come out since the last feedback episode. Some of it is feedback that we meant to mention in the PV episode, but forgot to mention then. So we figured we'll just do it in the next feedback episode. So okay, the first bit is a bunch of feedback we got from the last PV episode, which was I think episode 013. And we have been discussing the mysterious voice that plays. I'm going to play it right now. The voice that plays like while Greymon's on screen. So it's playing while Greymon looks like it's attacking Meicomon's Digivolution form. We're like, doesn't really make sense if it's Greymon, but doesn't really make sense. And a bunch of people sent us in this basically confirmation, speculate that Greymon does not sound like that. So here's a clip of what Greymon sounds like in Tri Chapter 1. Yeah, so that sounds pretty different to me. I also wouldn't be surprised if Greymon's voice changed that much between chapters. That wouldn't completely surprise me, but I think a bunch of people also wrote in speculating that it's Kabuterimon, whatever it's Grand Kabuterimon. Grand, yeah. So like that would make a lot more sense, and it also makes sense they wouldn't show that in the PV because they don't have the animation set down and want it to be surprised or whatever. So yeah, that makes sense. That's just a thing. A lot of people pointed out. The next thing is kind of news, which I didn't want to mention in the news segment in case people wanted to skip over the Tri stuff. Don't want to try spoilers. But so yeah, skip over this if you want to try spoilers. But Meikumon's perfect / ultimate form was revealed there's a promotion in Digimon, what's it called? Digimon World Next Order, where you can get a Meicoomon and Digivolve it to perfect. And so we'll have an image in the show notes and a link to this blog post where it talks about it. It's kind of what we saw from the PV, but the main important thing is the name has been revealed, which in Japanese is Meikrakkumon, which people have been translating as Meikrakmon, which is a thing.
Oh, these names are getting a little ridiculous.
Well, maybe that's what it's supposed to be, because cracking is a particularly dangerous type of hacking, right?
I guess.
I mean, it's like you can crack things. I think it's a bit of a stretch. But yeah, I could see like,
okay,
and also
whatever.
just like physically, it's like, I think people were like, oh, it sounds like crack cocaine. I don't know. I mean,
it sounds like the crack in your butt.
Yeah.
Oh, that too. I didn't think about that.
Oh, that's where my mind went.
Yeah.
Because I'm here looking at the fact that this cat creature has very clearly defined human boobs.
Oh yeah, we can confirm that now.
Looks like they're kind of made out of her like mane.
Yeah, but cats don't have.
No, they don't. But like it's
like
interesting that it's like the hair is formed into boobs, kind of.
Oh, that's not how I'm seeing it at all. It's like the hair goes down between the boobs, accentuating her cleavage.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's strange.
Anyway, the other interesting part about this is that not all evolution lines, actually most evolution lines in the games are not canon to the anime, but I thought it was interesting and maybe potential thing to be revealed that in this game, which I don't really know how Digivolution works in the world games, maybe this is totally different, but like there's a screenshot of the Digivolution that it can go, Meikrakmon can go into Ophanimon or Mastemon. So if you don't know, Mastemon was revealed, I think came out first in Cyber Sleuth, where it's the fusion DNA or Geograss, whatever, of Angelomon and Lady Devamon. So yeah, so first of all, it's really cool looking. Second of all, it kind of reframes Meicoomon as being this like alternate Gatomon in a weird way.
Yeah. Huh.
It's interesting. I wonder if that's going to play into the anime, if it's going to be like some kind of play. Because it seems like Meiko and Kari haven't really had much interaction, as I can recall.
They have not.
Anyway, so the next thing is a big thing. We got this really awesome, epic email from a listener, Noah Larson. Thank you, Noah. This is a really cool email. It was actually a while ago. It was after our Tri Chapter 2 episode, and then we meant to bring it up on the PV episode, and then forgot, and now we're going to bring it in now. So the first thing he mentioned is this TV trope, which I was not aware of. I don't know if you guys were aware of the tiger versus dragon, which is apparently a common theme. So I'm just going to read the summary from TV tropes. The Chinese have an interesting idiom, the tiger and the dragon. This refers to two spirits so widely different and yet at the same time similar, mortal enemies intricately linked together by destiny. Both the dragon and the tiger are Buddhist symbols, with the tiger lunging straight ahead to bulldoze through his opponents, and while the dragon is revered more for patience and wisdom, from which he then derives fighting power. With neither able to conquer the other, these kingly beasts represented a balance of power, hard and soft styles coming together to form a harmony between yin and yang. Also, that's like a TV tropes writer, so it's not like I don't know how much of those details are very important. But anyway, and the main point is that Meicoomon seems very tiger-esque, with stripes on the fur and feral appearance, and Hackmon seems dragon-esque. And that was an interesting dichotomy, I thought. And they also mentioned that it could tie back to the demiurge/idea dichotomy and the material versus non-material world dichotomy. And it also reminded me, this wasn't something Noah said, but it reminded me of how Hackmon has, it's hard how much of this is explicit and how much of this is subtle. I don't think I'd realized this when we recorded Chapter 2, But Hackmon, there are pretty obvious signs that Hackmon is behind the Ken. The Ken and Imperial Digimon are an illusion, or like a digital, what's it called, hologram. And the Hackmon's behind that. Mostly being that in the Digimon Adventure PSP game, that's what Hackmon does. He makes holograms of Digimon for the main characters to fight, so they digivolve to Mega or Ultimate form. And like that's exactly what happened in Tri Chapter 2. So that kind of almost removes all the mystery of it. That's when I realized that. But anyway, so if Hackmon is like can make holograms, that really ties back into the material, non-material world idea thing. But we'll see. And any thoughts about that Tiger vs. Dragon thing?
I mean, I would have to see Hackmon more clearly before I jump on board with this. He seems more like a dinosaur than a dragon.
Yeah. I think there's not much revealed. Like, we don't see enough about Hackmon. I think the connection to Hackmon and Dragon is kind of a stretch. And the next thing was about, he talked to me about the Meikumon DNA design and how, like, the DNA strands reminded him of Apocalypse, which is not a connection I made at all. And how, I talked about the firewall and how that might tie back in, and how Apocalypse is tied into the firewall. And so maybe, let me just read this part.
Why don't you let me read it, Jeff?
Okay.
I also wanted to point out an interesting thing I didn't notice until Jeff started talking about the firewall from Adventure. A part of Meikumon's design that I found really odd from the get-go was the whole DNA-designed tails and such. It wasn't until you mentioned the firewall in Apocalypse that I realized that DNA appendages were also a big design influence on Apocalypse and his claws, which I find really interesting. Considering the more primal essence monologues they've been giving out at the beginning of the movies, it makes me wonder if Meikumon may be a precursor for Apocalypse or an attempted successor created by Maki's company. That would be fascinating. I would be all over that.
Me too. I'm so worried because I'm like, I don't know if I give the like writers of Tri enough credit, because I'm like, it feels like there's, DNA is cool. Yeah, right? Just DNA everywhere. Because I mean, like, DNA was prominent in the animation of the Jogress and DNA evolution sequence in 02, and that had no connection to Apocalypse. But
right. But also, I mean, DNA is also important to the whole evolution thing of Digimon. So maybe it's more related to something like Calumon than something like Apocalypse. Or maybe it's all linked. Maybe we're getting into spiral genetic territory, Gurren Lagann.
Oh no. I was like, what are you talking about? You're talking about some like pseudoscience thing? Oh no, it's just Gurren Lagann, okay.
Just Gurren Lagann.
We're just talking about Gurren Lagann. I don't do science.
The next point they had, which I thought was really interesting, was so they linked to it was basically like a paragraph from an article about Gnosticism, which I found much more confusing than so I found. So I'm not gonna read that article that Noah sent us, but an element of Gnosticism, which if you don't remember, is where the concept of demiurge and idea primarily come from. An aspect of that I was kind of confused by, because Gnosticism, like that terminology of demiurge and idea, comes from like ancient philosophers, like I think it's Plato primarily. And what I had not really realized is that the whole like religion, or like the religious kind of pseudo-religious stuff around it, I don't know if it's pseudo-religion. Anyway, Gnosticism was really later. And it's primarily defined in a Christian context as, so I'm going to link to the Wikipedia article for Gnosticism, which is an element I hadn't really realized. It's kind of picking up these older ideas and forming them into more religious contexts. And that demiurge, so in Gnosticism, demiurge is considered the like material evil world created by demiurge. It seems like there's like demiurge is also like the material world, but also the creator of the material world anyway. But that like Jesus Christ is the savior from that evil material world.
Here, I know a little about this.
Oh, really?
Yes. I know about it in a Jewish context. So there are Gnostic branches of lots of different religions, I think. But in the Jewish one, anyway, I'm not entirely sure how the Christian one goes. The demiurge is the god that created the world, but it's sort of uncool, or
uncool?
No, there's the creator. It's sort of uncool. No, there's the creator of the world who's actually good and all, but then the demiurge came in and took control and wrote himself as God when really he wasn't God. And the entire Bible is actually a pack of lies, and everything is flipped on its head. Everything is actually the opposite of what you're reading, and it's very subversive, and they were not super popular among, people that believed in the Bible.
I can see why.
Yeah. So that's how it is in that particular tradition anyway.
Well, the element I found interesting about the Christian context of Gnosticism is the framing of like Jesus Christ as being the savior from Demiurge, because Jesmon, I don't know how much this is true, but like Jesmon is commonly cited on Wikipedia or on Digimon wikis like Wikia, Digimon Wiki, as being influenced by Jesus. So I'm like, huh. And Jesmon, if you don't know, is Hackmon's ultimate such mega form. So that might be a thing in the future. And Noah also mentioned prophecies, and I think that the prophecy in Tri Chapter 2 is a callback to prophecy they used to defeat Planet Myonismon. And they hope there's a big overarching idea that we can't anticipate, which I also hope. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is this one line Noah mentioned, which is, I don't think the Chosen Children's mission was ever really finished. The inclusion of other prophecies shows that the original reason for being chosen has not reached fruition. Which as soon as I read that, I was just like, why didn't they say that in the movie? Like, just say that. And I'd be like, like, that would hook people in so much if there were just some, like, voice that came in and was like, your reason for being chosen has not yet reached fruition. Like, that would, like, be so compelling. No. There's like, we got Digimon. We got them. Cool, I guess. We'll find a reason for them later. Yeah, we're running short on time, so I can't really mention this fully, but they also mentioned Padamon's affection and mentioned, I think, a cool idea, which is that maybe, and a very likely idea, which they've mentioned only infected Digimon can open portals to the digital world, and so maybe that'll be Padamon's use. It will be infected, and then they'll have to rely on Padamon's infection to get to the digital world, and that'll put I almost mix Takeru and Takado.
You said Takado? Yeah.
Put Takeru in an interesting place where he has to kind of force Padamon to use the infection, even though he's afraid of losing him and all that stuff. So that'll be cool. I hope that sounds like a cool route for them to go. I like that speculation. Enough Tri stuff. Let's go back to Tamer. Actually, no, let's not go back to not Tamers yet. iTunes reviews. So we have some new iTunes reviewers. So thank you very much, Catherine Sukamon. That's a great last name, Sukamon. And Knocked Owl and Digismosh Alley. Thank you very much for your awesome iTunes reviews. You're awesome people. Ashley, can you read the first? So what we're going to do this time is we're going to read the original review, and then we're going to have Robotmon read the transcribed review. We're going to try, not sure if Robotmon reading it will make it funny or less funny, because like it'll be more a machine, but also might be weird. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, this is from Crystal Guy in the UK. And the title is, Did you sue, did you hear, did you know how great this podcast is? I can read, guys. Just wanted to review to say how great this show is. I'm on holiday and mostly without internet, so it's been great. It's really cool to think about a cherished childhood show in an analytical way, and you guys are great hosts. I've only listened to the end of Adventure so far, but I'm looking forward to the rest. Keep up the great work, guys.
Thank you, Crystal Guy. It's kind of weird going back and looking at these reviews. I'm like, I forgot we got such awesome reviews way back. Like I kind of forget these things, and I'm like, oh, this is really sweet.
Back in the day.
I mean, we're still getting nice ones, and we still thank all of you new people too. But like, I guess I'm just the way I am. Like, I'm pessimistic, and I forget the positive praise we got in the past, and so like, it always really warms my heart to go back and think, oh wait, no, this has been here for a while, and you're really sweet at the time, and like, oh, I don't know, always warms my heart a bit. But yes. So the transcribable review, the title was.
If you trash, did you hear? Did you sue? Did you now?
If you trash.
If you trash it.
No, I think it's like, if you are trash, then this is a show for you.
I mean, yes, I agree. Go on.
I want to say in your teaching.
Okay.
Okay.
By using the internet, turn off.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
It is hosted by a great critical analysis of our children how to make a really cool guy.
What?
Our children do what now?
No, okay. It is hosted by a great critical analysis of our children how to make a really cool guy. So I like about this is I think it's saying that like it's an analysis of how children can make a guy. So it's about shipping, right? It's about like how they can make offspring.
Oh, God.
That's not what I thought, but okay. Yeah, that's one way you can read that.
Okay, so this last one. Okay, here we go.
Those who are of your blood, who operate more than a head of arms, no trace of adventure end well.
This is a great review. I like Robotmon reading these from now on.
So I had a breakthrough with, because like what I've had to do, like there used to be a service that did this automatically. I just plug it in and it would like translate back and forth between like 40 different languages, and I would just like look at the outcome and be like, okay, that's good. but like that service kind of relies on like calling the Bing or other translation service APIs over and over, and they kind of don't like that. So they have all been, the tools that did this were shut down. So now I have to do it. I've been having the last like several months of having to do it manually, like enter in Google Translate, then copy and paste in the other field, like enter the thing, copy the output into the input, and like so on and so on, and flip languages and all this stuff. But what I found recently is Bing's interface makes this perfect because it has like a flip button. And the way the flip button works is you put input into output, and you hit flip, and then it puts the output into input. So I could just like do that to make it go back and forth over and over. And then I just choose new language, do it over and over, hit new language over and over. And then the other thing I found that Bing doesn't have Latin. And I'm like, oh, it doesn't have Latin. I need to find something else to replace Latin in my rotation. They have Klingon. And so that added an interesting flavor to some of these.
Klingon. Jesus.
And since that one time we kind of skipped over, we went backwards once. And the next review is really short, so I figured we could also do it now. So Ashley, read the next one.
This is from that one guy sick of Manhun in Canada. I think I said that right. I don't know. The title of this is Excellent. Love the podcast. Hope you rip season 2 a new one. Oh, I think we did.
Actually, that was the most simple sentence, and you still stumbled on reading it.
I do not understand English words. I do not understand words. They are hard.
Said the English major.
Yes. Who said I was a good English major? You don't know.
Didn't Brown?
I don't know.
Okay, so here's the Transgarbo title.
What is the future of the ship?
What? How did that? What? It's excellent. How did we get that?
So that one I really struggled with to find a because I did it back and forth and it just kept ending up this is good, but I think eventually mixing in lots of different languages like Italian and Spanish and French and Klingon, and eventually it just started adding new words, and I was like, oh cool, now there's a ship in it.
Now there's a ship.
What is the future of the ship?
There is. That is the most important question that has ever been asked of this podcast.
And Digimon in general.
Right.
All of Digimon.
What is the future of the ship?
No, well, what is the future of the ship?
Which is even better. We're getting real meta there.
Here's the body.
Love is Podchist.
It's somehow misspelled podcast as Podchist.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Love is podcast.
Okay. Podcast.
2 seasons tearing up New Hope.
What?
2 seasons tearing up New Hope.
That's right.
Sorry, New Hope. My bad.
So thank you, Big and Translate and Robotmon for those reviews and the original reviewers. So now we have some rejected. So now actually on to Tamers. We're Tamers. We're covering episode 308, which was the one with the milkshakes. I can't remember what else I have in those episodes.
All the milkshakes.
It was just milkshakes. So rejected titles were
My Neighbor Totoromon.
Is that how you pronounce Totoro?
Well, it's how you pronounce Totoro incorrectly, like an ignorant American who only saw the movie once. In other news, water is not wet. Oprah's Digimon giveaway. Everybody gets a Digimon. Konaka's lecture hall. Are you going to correct me on that one too? Is it Konaka?
I think you said it right.
Okay, great.
I don't know.
Digi Gnome thank you. Digi Gnome syndrome. Watership up. Dispirited away. Rebelmon without a cause. All aboard the censorship. And what was the title we actually went with?
My milkshake brings all the mon to the pond.
Oh, right. Well,
yeah,
I mean, that's
good.
quality.
That's quality. That is good.
And plowing through the Ridiculous Dialogue Draft poll results. If you don't know what the Ridiculous Dialogue Draft is, it's where we pick... I mean, you should be listening to the episode where we did the Ridiculous Dialogue Draft before you listen to this one. But if you happen to not, we pick our favorite quotes, and then you can vote on which ones you like the best. We're recording this only a couple days after we release the episode, so these are kind of like early results. But anyway, the winning quotes... Actually, I should just check to make sure nothing's updated since people voted.
You're so hopeful.
Well, there was a big tie. I'm like, this is not... shouldn't be this much tying.
All the ties.
Wow.
Has it changed? No, it has changed. Okay. So now in first place is Ashley with the better than school quote that how do you say, what does it go? It's how do you say that?
We got trapped in a cave and are gonna die or something without making it sound.
Right. It was how do you say that we almost drowned and now we're trapped in a cave with no way out and make it sound reassuring. It's better than school. So that was first place. And then second place was tying of Asher's flagging quote and my moment tie yourself quote. And then by hosts, Ashley was first place, I was second place, and Asher was third place. No, sorry. Asher and I tied for second place.
I was about to say.
and Andrew didn't get any votes.
Aw, that's why he's not here.
I think. Oh no, did he do? No, he didn't do one of those things where he was like, "I'm going to pick random noises as a quote."
No, he didn't do that this time.
I feel like he'd have more of a chance with those at that point. I feel like people just give him, or like, that's funny.
Yeah.
Just gonna pick that.
Okay, and now on to the Podigious Fantasy Draft. In the main episode, we pick our favorite characters from the arc, and then before the episode comes out, so when you're listening to this, we're listening to 308.5. Hopefully you're listening to this before we release 309 in the next, so 309 is going to come out a week after this one. So if you're listening to it within that week, you can enter the fantasy draft for 309, and you basically pick a team of a human and a Digimon, and hope that one of those two is our characters that we pick as our favorites. Then you get points based on that, and there's a running tie throughout the season, and whoever gets the most points at the end of the season gets prizes. So yeah, so in 308, we all picked Antilamon as our favorite character. So whoever picked Antilamon got lots of points, and whoever didn't pick Antilamon didn't get any points. So so four people, ironically four people picked Antilamon and got 4 points each. So congrats, Rika, Hiyalore, Stevie Patamon, and Homoneurotic. You all won the jackpot. But now we have to go and pick awards for our most incongruous team and most team we want to exist, most desired team. So incongruous. So we're looking at the list. I really liked Homoneurotic had 2 submissions and withdrew one of them to have this formal one. So the position they sent in eventually was themselves and Antilamon.
Oh, I was wondering what they meant by them. I was like, who is this them? This is ominous.
I mean, I didn't know how to phrase it. Like in the tweet, it was like myself. But
Gotcha.
I like how funny that was because it was like, I feel like they probably thought they were throwing away half their vote. And I'm like, no, you got it. You got it on the nose. Like,
yes, we all want me and Antilamon. That's how we feel. We all want Antilamon.
No, but their first vote, before they withdrew a vote and put in this other one, was actually Rio and a bag of garbage. So.
Oh, that would have been excellent.
we can still pick that as our most desired team.
Okay.
Let's do it. See what I said about we just make up the rules?
That's perfect.
Okay.
All right. Looking at these teams.
Incongruous.
We're picking, yeah.
The most
okay.
incongruous.
I like Yamaki and Diginomes as the most incongruous.
They would just bother him all the time.
Exactly. He'd be
It'd
like,
be
shut
great.
up.
I would love it. He deserves it.
He deserves it.
Okay, I think we're all in agreement on that.
Yeah.
So points to
Embermoto.
Embermoto and Homoneurotic for those. Maybe we should give, like, each of us gives a point. Because now that there's, like, so much catching up to do. Yeah. Okay, now
Yeah,
official
I feel like
rule
that
change.
should be the rule
Official
change.
rule change.
No,
We are now...
Don't do the rule change now. We can introduce it next time.
Really? Does it make a difference to people?
It makes a difference to me because we already allotted points, and changing it now would be unfair.
We didn't really allot points. Like, I just put in a 1 into a spreadsheet. As the numbers have changed.
I'll allow this. I agree.
This is undemocratic.
Fairness is not democracy.
Okay, this is new rule. It's fine.
Yeah. So new rule.
Right.
We will each have a vote. So before it was like we would come to a consensus and we give 1 point to the person who got the consensus for the incongruous team or the desired team. Now each of the hosts is going to have a vote. So that means we can give up to, depending on who's in the feedback episode, 3 or 4 votes for each of those. So there's to the kind of, now that there's like fewer episodes left in the season, there are I think they're going to be, well, including the movies, there's going to be 309, 310, 311, 312 about the series, and then 313, 314 about the movies. So what is that? What are those numbers? I just counted 6 more episodes. Is that right? So now that we're like running, we're in the second half of the season, figure we should give away people to catch up. So yeah, we're going to give up more of these incongruous and desired team points to hopefully make that possible. So now the leaderboard is Rika's my favorite in first place with 15 points, Embermoto in second place with 12 points, and Hiyalore and Stevie Patamon in third place with 10 points. So yeah, if you're listening to this now, you can enter. If you're listening to this in the week this comes out, then you can go enter for 309. If you're listening to the future, hopefully there's still episodes that we're releasing, you can enter then. And it's really easy to enter. All you do is reply to us on social media when we ask for it, or you can enter in the forum. Yeah, so do it and get prizes like the Tamers box set DVD and the Taichi and Agumon figure. Okay, Ashley, so now we're getting into comments about the episode. Ashley, you had the first one. This was self-feedback. Do you remember?
No.
So we talked in episode 307, I believe, about how like the data. Like I really like the data streams. No one else. Ashley, you really didn't like the data streams. You were saying we reached the conclusion like it really doesn't actually.
Because we were like, a lot of Digimon should fall into the data stream then.
Well, I like the fact that they can come out at any point, and like it makes the digital world really dangerous for the kids, but it doesn't seem to be dangerous for anyone else, any other residents of the digital world. Like they just live there like they're not going to be sucked up by a data stream at any point. And I guess we kind of implied that, okay, maybe they live in the huts so they don't get attacked, they don't get sucked up, but like that seems unclear, and it doesn't seem like any of the residents ever get brought up or transported by them. But yeah, right. So they show in these episodes Orochimaru falling out of the sky, which you only notice on taking screenshots. Is that right?
Yeah. And so then I paused and was like, oh, they totally implied that Orochimaru falls out of a data stream. Pretty sure.
So that's slightly more evidence to that world building being consistent.
Yeah.
In 3.8, we had talked about the card slashes, and mostly I had pointed out how like Jerry's seems really awkward because there's that long pause. And we kind of speculated on how that was different, and in doing the like making all the images for the show notes and everything for the episode, I made a GIF comparison of. So I'll link to it in these show notes too, in case you missed it for the last episode. I made a GIF of comparing the card slash sequences where they're all like synced up, and you can very clearly see that Jerry's just like padded for time, where the others are doing cool hand motions. Jerry's like sitting there for a while. It's pretty awkward. And I didn't write this down, but they definitely had someone, sorry, whoever it was, we're not sourcing you properly, but someone pointed out how like it's very clearly the like same motions as the other characters repurposed. Like it's like her swipe when she actually brings it through the reader is like identical to Kato's, and like her pose when she's like holding the card is almost identical to Rika's. Mm-hmm. So on the other hand, I like that she is like modeling after them, but it very clear it's just a budget thing probably. So
I disagree with these poll results. Rika has the coolest card slash.
On Twitter, I made a Twitter poll asking what people's favorite card slash was, and first place was Henry with 47%, then Rika, then Takato, then Jerry. Who do you disagree with?
I disagree with everybody's like, Henry, his is so flashy, but like in the actual show, because he makes like silly noises while he does it, like I just can't agree that is the coolest card slash. Like not at all. Just
I'm endeared to it.
Ugh, wrong.
And we got comments from one person on Twitter, Takafumi Sakagami, and they had, I thought, some interesting analysis on the GIF, and saying, so they said, Henry's my favorite, but I love them all. Takato's is simple, but with a cool build-up, which is true. And I shouldn't comment on things while I'm reading the quote. Okay, so they said, Henry's is my favorite, but I love them all. Takato's is simple, but with a cool build-up. The Digivice turn is signature. Rika's is aggressive with a slow turn and a good use of zooming. Henry, with the Taichi background, makes more use of his body. Jerry is like, am I doing it? Is it working? That was a pretty good analysis.
Pretty much, yeah.
And another thing I didn't realize until gathering, like getting the GIF. First of all, this is really hard to actually get them synced up, because like when I made the GIFs from the episodes, I made GIFs of the individual ones, but they weren't all the same number of frames, and getting them the same number of frames and timing, I think would be complicated. So I couldn't just have the GIFs playing in proximity and then screenshot that or whatever. I had to so they all start at the same point, but they're all different lengths. So what I had to do was like put them in a web browser and then like make sure all the GIFs loaded at the exact same time and then film that. Anyway, it was a pain, but I got it working eventually. But anyway, getting to Kato's, I didn't realize that Kato's doesn't appear for quite a while. Now I forgot where I wrote it down somewhere in our Slack, in our Patreon Slack. I wanted May to look out for it when they were going through Tamers for Lost in Digimon, but then I eventually did find it. I didn't mention it in the Slack because I didn't want to spoil it for May. No, I forgot where it was.
You have failed yourself.
It was pretty far along. I really can't remember where it was now, because, oh no, why didn't... Anyway, hopefully when May gets to it for Lost in Digimon, they will point it out. Then we'll know, because I have forgotten completely.
Great.
Oh, that's really going to bother me now. And I didn't write down, because I don't know why not. But yeah, it definitely takes a lot longer. I think it's after Guilmon Digivolve was the first time. I think, no, I'm not so sure. It's definitely not like within the first couple episodes. It's not like within the first 5. It's like at least 5+, which surprised me. Because by that point, you've had tons of Henry. Henry definitely gets to do it a lot. Anyway, we got some comments about the ones we were missing. So one person sent us this GIF. We'll have a link to the show notes, this GIF, like everything else. And it's Ryo's sequence, which is never shown in the show, but it was apparently in an ad for a Japanese TV ad. And it's basically just I think it's footage taken from the show with just random cards moving around the background, and it looks pretty ridiculous.
As is Ryo.
Ryo's usually bland. This is flavorful, just not the right kind of flavor.
No, he's always trying to be flashy, but just isn't.
Yeah, this is classic Ryo.
the other thing a lot of people complained about was that we didn't include Susie. And I didn't realize Susie had one because this isn't until episode 48, I think, where it happens. I think it only happens once, but a lot of people brought it up, so I wanted to at least mention it. So I'll have a GIF in the show notes, but for now we're going to watch it on YouTube. And I think it's pretty cool because she like just gets the card and then just smiles. Yeah.
Okay.
It's cute.
I believe.
It's a little like, when I remember the tone of the last chunk of episodes, like I'm like, is this really going to fit? Like with her just being like, I'm going to slash a card, yay!
Yay!
The last comment I wanted to talk about was from Psychic Echo in our forums, talking about side tamers and foreshadowing with them. Because we had a topic about the new side tamers in the episodes. Like Jerry wasn't new, but now that we have Susie, Kazu, and soon Kenta. So this is what Psycho Echo said.
Thinking about the side tamers in this arc, it's actually kind of funny and interesting how all the people who have been made tamers by the end of this arc are the exact same people who had been initially rejected as being potential candidates for being Calamon's tamer back in episode 5.
And so they also mentioned how like the reasons they listed for the reasons they were concerned about having Calamon be tamed by them are kind of off, like balanced off by these pairings. So like they mentioned how Kazu was shown as being, oh, we would just make Calamon attack all the time and just think about offense and no defense. And now we got a Guardiamon that is very defensive looking. And what's the other one? And Jerry was too scared to be a tamer, which never like that logic. But then she got a Digimon who was very confident and brave. And so that's cool. Mm-hmm. It feels a little forced to me, but like...
No, I kind of like that.
I mean, it just feels a little forced to me because it's like they knew in writing who would get Digimon eventually. So they're like, let's propose them as alternate tamers to Calamon. And then no, I don't know. Maybe it's not forced. I mean, I don't know.
I think maybe you just don't want to say nice things about Kazu.
I don't know about that. And Psychic Echo also mentioned an interesting trivia fact, which I had forgotten. I had read some time ago, but I had totally forgotten about. Which is that in Kanaka's notes, he mentions how he didn't initially intend for Susie to be a tamer, but they, like whoever did the animation of the opening just like took the idea and like made in the like at the end of the opening thing where they just like see all the Digimon tamers lined up and they like raise their Digivices or whatever, and it showed Susie as one of them, and he was like, oh, okay, and then decided to make her a tamer. So it's kind of weird, like the opening, they just ran with that without really getting confirmation that was in the story, but it's an interesting story. So Ashley and I are here for some feedback follow-up because in the 2 days since we recorded the episode on Sunday, we recorded on Sunday, right? Now it's Tuesday, there's been a bunch of developments and things. We communicated very poorly last minute that we were recording the feedback episode. Some people got their feedback in pretty late after we recorded. And my name for this segment, since the main episode is Podigious 308.5, this is 308.8, Final Chapter Prologue.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, God. That's all I'm gonna say.
I had hyped that joke up to Ashley, saying it's the best joke ever for like 10 minutes.
I'm never going to forgive Kingdom Hearts.
One thing I just wanted to mention is that I've set up a kind of rigorous schedule for the future production of episodes and hoping to stick with that. And in the past, it's kind of just been a little bit willy-nilly. We've aimed to get it out once a week, but this is like a formalized plan. So I'm hoping that'll mean more regular releases and it'll mean we can give more advance notice about when we're going to be recording. And for the most part, we're aiming to have at least 4 days between a main episode release and our recording of the feedback episode. So, but we'll try to communicate that more. And, when we release the episode, say we're recording feedback on Monday. So get your feedback about Monday or whatever. Anyway, now on to the new stuff. So the big thing, which is actually a fairly small bit of actual information, but kind of huge news anyway, is that earlier today, Jeff Nimoy announced on his Tumblr that he is voicing Tentomon in a Digimon Adventure Tri dub, and that he's not directing or writing the dub, though. So who knows what that really means? I had seen some speculation, I think it was earlier today, maybe, I don't know when it first went up, it was yesterday, basically of people who were saying they had friends in the voice acting community who knew of auditions for Tri. So I'm thinking that's why Jeff Nimoy mentioned this, because it was already kind of getting out that this was happening and the auditions were public information somewhere if you had the right connections. So yeah, that's a thing. No one really knows who's doing the dubbing or what.
Dub exists.
Or it will exist. Who knows how long it'll take, if they're going to, wait until all the movies are out, if they're going to do it episode by episode. Some people were saying that Jeff Nimoy, he had said he recorded first couple episodes. I don't think necessarily means episode as Crunchyroll and other platforms are calling it. That could mean he's referring to each movie as an episode. Who knows? Anyway, lots of things unknown. We just know that was happening and that Jeff Nimoy is evolved as Tentomon. So that's exciting.
Tentomon. No, I can't do a Tentomon voice. Why did I even try?
Why did you try? Because it's called Digimon Try. Okay, and the next thing is that there were, I don't know when this character page went up, but the Appmon official Toei website went up with character profile page of various Appmon. So it first went up with the main character, Haru Shinkai Haru, depending on which order names you use, and his Appmon Gotchmon, and the Digivice, the app loader thing. And that included also character information and information about the seiyus, the voice actors. The Digivice, the application loader thing, also has a voice actor because it has noises, which is kind of funny that it's included like a character. There's information about the voice actors and also interviews with them. And Toya of Tamer Union /DigimonWorld.org. That's not a slash like website URL. The URL is DigimonWorld.org called Tamer Union. And he did a translation of all that information with those initial characters and seiyus and seiyu information. And since then, however, the highlight of that was that the voice actor voicing the main character, voicing Haru, is a lifelong fan of Digimon, or she at least mentions that she loved watching Digimon when she was a student. Who knows how much that's authentic? But anyway, since he translated that, there had actually been more characters introduced on that page. It's only two more. So the girl with Dokkamon, with the fighting Appmon, her name is Karan Eri. I guess you can say that. At a glance, the only thing that immediately stands out to me from limited Japanese knowledge is that it says she's part of an idol group. She's an idol group member, which I don't know what that actually means. Does it mean she's a fan of idols? I don't know, is she... I guess idol group means that it's a group of idols. So, but... Yes, Digimon idols. And she's still cool for having the Gumdramon Bart Simpson Dokkamon thing. And yes, so that is... We're talking about it because Digimon community is talking about it, but I don't think either of us or Ash or not Andrew. Andrew is one to get caught up in this. I was going to say the three of us are not really ones to really get caught up on all this information, but I think we're going to wait until the thing actually airs and then...
I mean, Andrew is probably freaking out.
I don't know if he's freaking out, but he definitely enjoys that kind of speculation more than we do. Anyway, we figured some listeners might enjoy it. So, yes, so we had some feedback that we should have included in the episode, but we got a little bit too late for our recording. And the first bit is from Adam Pulver, who also wrote the System Restore reviews of Digimondo episodes. You can find them at just Googling System Restore Digimon, probably. I don't actually know the URL. So, yes. And so here's what he wrote in. Regarding Shibumi's presence in the digital world in episode 32, it's worth comparing it to a concept from Chiaki Konaka's other work, Serial Experiments Lane. In that series, characters who die or are incapacitated in the real world are shown to have consciousness online. In the first episode, a girl kills herself, then uses her internet subconscious to email her classmates about it. Shibumi's half-form in the digital world seems to evoke this. The use of Mokumon and the Diginomes present an in-world explanation, if you can call it that, but there's a clear parallel here and suggests that it's a concept Konaka loves to play with. We were speculating about why.
Yeah,
what Shibumi's close thing. But I'm reminding the listeners, actually.
Okay.
And yeah,
look at me.
It's an interesting parallel.
I mean, I have to finish Lane, because I mean...
Right, the thing about Lane is that it's... We recently rewatched the first couple episodes for our parody episode for April Fools. And from what I remember, the first couple episodes, it's still, like... Is that actual consciousness? Is that, like... Because the whole thing is they're not really sure if it's actually the girl who kills herself who is online.
Yeah.
And it gets all super metaphysical, and I can't remember to what extent it's supposed to be literally that person's consciousness. If it is supposed to be the...
drugs were becoming involved. I was like, what's happening?
Is it supposed to be the internet's memory of them? Is it supposed to be... So...
Spoilers.
That's not a spoiler. I'm just like... I'm trying to remember the metaphysical directions which it could go. I mean, the last time I watched Lane was 8 years ago in full, and it was like in a marathon setting. It was not really the best setting for thoughtful analysis of what's going on there. And I also had less, I think, critical faculties. Yes, faculty is great. Mm-hmm. I had less critical faculties to really appreciate and understand those things. So yeah, I think it's an interesting parallel, but I think to read the meaning into that parallel, you need to have a clear idea of what the intent of that connection was in Lane, and I'm totally missing on that now. makes me kind of wish I had rewatched Lane before watching Tamers and go into it with that. But as I recall, there's not really one clear meaning to Lane anyway. So anyway, yes. So we also had a couple of voicemail responses, which we didn't get until after we recorded the episode. The first one is from May from Lost in Translation, and they did not send their voice. They sent text, which we will have Robotmon read. So the voicemail question of the week was, which David would you want as a partner?
Yes.
Since Susie got Intilamon as a partner. So here was May's response.
Kurchuraman because dogs are cool and I feel like I could cuddle up to it in front of a nice fire. It's cold at the moment. Also, I like dogs. Dogs are good.
I think May has been watching too much Dogmon.
No, actually. We purposely left the message as is and did not. I was like, should I change it's V cold into very cold so Romon can read it better? No.
No.
It's V cold at the moment. Also, I like dogs.
Dogs are good.
Gatoramon is barely a dog. I'm rejecting this answer.
Not true. It's just I would not pick him as my partner.
I guess actually what I said comes from a very Western perspective because it is that specific kind of, what we decided was lion dog? That is not something that we think of as a dog, but is I don't think it's lion dog though. No, it's
Whoa, that's
it's the other one. No, it's all the statues and it's like a dragon dog. Oh, did I say did I search? No, tiger dog. Tiger dog. No, that's not it either. What is that? That's not a real thing. That's not okay. We unfortunately searched tiger dog, and this is not a real thing. But I will put it in the show notes because what?
There are so many frightening pictures happening right now.
It's like a bumblebee.
Yeah.
Exploded into a dog.
Exploded into a tiger. It's terrible. I wish I'd never saw this. This horrible photoshopping.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so it was lion dog. It's just, when I searched lion dog, I found stupid Westerners and I didn't get the Japanese thing. Yeah, so it is lion dog that it's based on. Anyway. Yes.
Well, that was some horrifying
that was a
Google imaging.
Yes, and the second voicemail we got was from our BFF Davis.
Whoa! Hey everyone, it's your boy Davis again. I'm gonna answer another question if you guys don't mind. What David would I want as my partner and why? Well, you know I would never leave my main squeeze Vmon, but if we're all just talking hypothetically here, I would probably pick the dragon one. What's his name? Checking it up on the wiki. Majiramon. Yes, I would pick him because he is a dragon and dragons are my jam. That's basically my whole thought process right there. Yeah, so I would replace Vmon with Majiramon. Hey, Davis! Oh, Vmon, what are you doing here?
You said you were replacing me?
No, it was all like a hypothetical.
Oh, I can't believe this. After all we've been through, I'm getting out of here.
Vmon, don't go! Vmon, I didn't mean it! Vmon, I'm your friend!
That was great.
Oh my gosh.
Adding new elements. It's like a skit now.
I love Davis.
Thank you, Davis.
I mean, definitely not Davis. I don't know. One of those.
Yeah, definitely.
So good.
That was great.
Next time you have to add 3 people. So, I mean, it's a challenge. it's going to keep increasing.
And yeah, now back to the outro. So Ashley and I are back. You just heard us, but now we're back for...
Guess who's back? Back again?
No, we're back for Podigious 308.9 Final Chapter Prologue Epilogue. As if 3.8.8 Final Chapter Prologue wasn't ridiculous enough.
No, it's definitely better when it's Final Chapter Prologue Epilogue.
So, I mean, we're ahead of the curve. Next year, they'll announce Kingdom Hearts 2.9 Final Chapter Prologue Epilogue, and then you'll see that we're the masterminds. Anyway, okay, so there was new information in the past day. We recorded this feedback episode on Sunday, planning to have it out on Wednesday, and in those several days, on Tuesday, we realized we had to record some more stuff to put into it. And then today on Wednesday, hoping to have it out today, there was even more news that was really important. So I was like, okay, I need to push back. And that's frustrating because it's, the more you push back, the more and more news and more. Next we'll have 308.9.5. No, you can't have 2 points. 308.95.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. So First thing, this is fairly minor, but Appmon news, in case you're really on that Appmon news treadmill, we mentioned that there were new character profiles added in the last in 3.8 that Toya hadn't translated for Digimon World / Tamer Union yet. But those new ones have been translated. He has translated them. So that's the new ones with Eri, the idol group girl, and her Dokemon.
Tsundere Ray girl.
I don't know if we know she's Tsundere yet.
It's totally Tsundere.
Just by visual. Okay, anyway.
No, from her description.
Oh, did you read the description?
Yeah.
I haven't actually read the description yet because I haven't looked since it was translated. But it is translated for you to read. I've just been too busy. And also staff interviews. There are a bunch of staff interviews with the director, and I actually forget what all the different roles were, but they've said some interesting things like, I forget which one of them said it, but they were like, it's Digimon, but not Digimon. And it's like, thanks.
Wow. Who knew?
What we could have inferred, but I guess it's been confirmed. Anyway, and the last thing, which is something we mentioned before, is actually, he put it out a couple of days ago. Toya translated and subtitled the PV trailer, which as I think we mentioned in the main 3.5 was hard to find because Toya eventually took it down from their YouTube channel. So now there is this sub version, which is more useful for everyone. So yeah, we'll have links to all this stuff in the show notes. You can find that. But now the big news that forced us to to record again 3.9. Yes, Tri is not only being dubbed, which we had heard some confirmation before, it is getting a theatrical release in the US, which is kind of minor and kind of huge. Digimon hasn't had a theatrical release since the Digimon movie. And this is not a, like...
The Digimon movie, guys.
Yes, the Digimon movie. It's not a, wide theatrical release. I don't think any of us would have expected that. And this is part one, obviously. Not obviously, but, hopefully it does well. There'll be more of them. But anyway, so here's the information we know. Hey, it's going to be distributed by Toei and 11 Arts. And apparently Toei is producing the dub. The dub's being recorded at Studiopolis. That's a bunch of company names. If you're the kind of person who cares about the company names, that's important too. If you aren't, then it doesn't. But 11 Arts isn't even a company I'd heard of before. Apparently they do a lot of this kind of distribution work for companies like Toei. Yes. So one of the interesting tidbits from the press release announcing this is that the press release mentions Toei producing it, but also mentions terms like Tai, Digidestin, and Digivolve. I don't think that's official confirmation yet. That's certainly a sign that they're going to use dub terminology, but, that's the strongest sign we have now, the strongest hint, but definitely pointing towards using that kind of dub terminology. The timing of this, so it's going to be a Fathom Events single night kind of thing on September 15th. I think I read 7 p.m. local time. And I don't think they've announced the list of theaters that it's at, but it's supposed to be, I think it said 300 theaters. I don't write that down in notes, but I think I saw this would be 300 theaters around the country, and they will go up for ordering on Friday, July 29th. And that should give you a list of theaters. But apparently, one thing Mark from With the Will mentioned is that Fathom often adds theaters after the tickets have gone up for order. So if you initially check on that day on Friday, July 29th, and you don't see your theater nearby, keep checking because it might be added later. So that's for the single event night kind of thing on September 15th. But then apparently there's supposed to be a national screening later. And in an initial press release, it mentioned October, and then a later one, it didn't mention October. So not sure if it actually is October. But anyway, they specify that it'll be a traditional multi-city national distribution, which doesn't specify how many theaters it is. I'm kind of worried because it specified as major U.S. cities. And I'm like, major U.S. cities sounds lower than 300 theaters. But based on the time, I assume it's going to be bigger. I don't know. I don't really understand how this normally goes.
IDK, my understanding is that most anime movies do not get wide distribution.
No. And
you get shown in little artsy theaters.
Yeah, basically. So it'll be exciting, and hopefully it's in a theater near you. And that's going to be happening. I mean, the national screening is going to be later in October, hopefully-ish. But the single event night thing is going to be on September 15th. It's going to be in the week and a half leading up to Tri Chapter 3. There's going to be some interesting hype cycle. I think it'll be cool because it'll be while people are kind of prepping up for the new third movie and getting people into it who haven't watched the subbed stuff yet. So anyway, it's exciting. Even if you are not a fan of the dub yourself, hopefully it can bring new people in. Hopefully it can be exciting to people who were a fan of the dub. Hopefully we'll see. We don't really know what kind of tone the dub's going to go for. It would make sense for them to take a less hokey, jokey, kiddie approach, but we'll see how it goes. We don't really, without knowing who is producing, we don't know who's directing. Also, dub direction really does not dictate what kind of writing style they go with. A lot of people attribute it to that, which is pretty faulty because, Digimon Digimon has had, I think, only 2 dub directors. I'm not sure about that. But Jeff Nimoy and Mary Elizabeth McGlynn have, both the two of them, directed very different tonal styles of Digimon. So it's not like we know who the directors, we know what kind of style they're going for. But the last thing we have is more casts. So before I'd heard that Jeff Nimoy was reprising his role as Tentomon, we've gotten confirmation that Laura Summer is coming back as Patamon. And this is the weird, so far that was just Digimon, and we kind of figured maybe it was like a situation paralleling the Japanese version where the cast of the Digimon is reprising and they're getting new voice actors for the kids. But apparently Joshua Seth, who was the voice actor of Tai, has been just teasing all over the place on social media.
Should I do it?
Right. What was the one thing? I don't know if he did on Twitter, which I'm looking at now. Yes,
it's coming back.
So he posted a link to an ANN article talking about how the film was getting released in theaters that came out today, and with the caption, "It's coming. Should I do it?" #Digimon. I'm like, wow. Yeah, you're gonna get so many people who said no. Of course, everyone's gonna be like, yeah, let's do it. I mean, there are gonna be haters, but
I want to tweet at him. No.
Wow, that's mean.
Just no.
Hurt his feelings.
Whatever.
He's a magician. Magicians have very emotional feelings. You know?
Have feelings.
Rappers have feelings.
When you say magicians don't have feelings.
I don't remember the lyrics go for that song. Anyway, so that's the big news. It's kind of huge, kind of not huge. I don't know. I have a cat sitting in my lap, and he is using my hand as a pillow. So that's all I have to say about that. It's a really interesting metaphor you apply there, Ashley. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Digimon fandom's going to be blowing up for this. It's exciting. Anyway, yes. So now back to your regularly scheduled outro. Prologue, epilogue, prologue. No, the prologue epilogue is over. Epilogue, prologue. This is Kingdom Hearts 3 territory you're going to now. No. This outro. Epilogue, prologue, epilogue? The outro of this episode is nowhere near as hyped up as Kingdom Hearts 3 is. You can find the full show notes for this episode by going to podigious.com/308.5. You can leave us feedback in the comment section on the site, or you can let us know your thoughts on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, Reddit, email, With the Will, SoundCloud, YouTube, Skywriting, Foreboding Prophecies, or color-coded smoke signals. Podigious is made possible with the support from our awesome Patramon, including Amanda Angelmon, Andre the Dukemon, David Grauman, Eric Angemon, Jack Santa Agamon, Joe Keto, Justin Blaine Davis, Kailunamon, Kaiser Washi, Sam Kriwagamon, and Stevie Patamon. If you want to support the show on Patreon, you can get some cool rewards, like access to our private Slack chat group for $1 a month, monthly stickers for $5 a month, and early episodes for $10 a month. Reaching our next goal will allow us to make podcast episodes about movies related to Digimon, so check out patreon.com/podigious to help us out. Why did you say it like that? Come on, help us out. I say it the same way every time. I got bored. Oh, wait. Yes. I actually did want to... okay. So, I forget what I was going to say, though. Okay. Since we read your names all funky and stuff, I just want to be like... I do really appreciate all the Patreon and Petramon, whatever we say. I don't know. Patramon. Particularly Sam Kriwagamon and Kailunamon give us a lot of money. And that's ridiculous because this is a Digimon podcast. Sam also has a Digimon podcast. It's also a Pokemon podcast called the Moncast. So you should check that out. If Kailani is listening, please say hi to us because we haven't heard from you in a while. And I want you to say hi. That was all. Why are you laughing at me? I love you. That's why. Okay, good. You can find Podigious on Twitter, Tumblr, or Facebook to keep up with the Digimons and get funny images and gifs related to the show. If you don't like how we pronounce GIF, then move to a different country. I don't know. Then become that's too Brexit relevant. Okay. That is actually very much too Brexit relevant. Oh boy. If you don't like how we pronounce GIF, then become a Patreon so you can vote on how we have to pronounce it. You can find me on Twitter at JeffLayJeff. You can find Ashley... AshMcD00 on Twitter. I was trying to think of something funny, okay. I was like, am I supposed to respond to this? And Ashley, where can they find you? Asher Dashery at Tumblr, and you can find Andrew at PhantomCellistF, also on Tumblr. Although he also has a Twitter, and I don't know why he doesn't plug it, because he's on there all the time, apparently. But we're not going to tell you what it is. We're not going to tell you what it is. This is secret. Our Calamon artwork is by the awesome Mary Cagle, a.k.a. Q Watermelon, on Tumblr and Twitter. We're going to get new artwork soon, guys. Watch out. share the podcast with your friends who are the dragon to your tiger, and don't share the podcast with your friends who poop on your computer. And join us next week as we get to have super happy fun times with Beelzemon. Bye.
Bye.
And remember, never stop digivolving.
全て始まりそれが答えたのわらピザピザすいません速力で未来も今も駆け抜けろ
Can you read Psychic Echo's comment?
Here?
Yeah, the side tamer.
What?
Yeah.
Thinking about the side I didn't understand when you said side tamers. I was like, Saitama, what are you talking about? Thinking about the side tamers in this arc.
Ash, you should try to convert our audience to Judaism.
What?
Isn't that what rabbis do?
No. And early episodes for $10 a month. We're really close.
No, this thing
Wait,
is a lie
yeah,
now.
we got that. And early episodes for $10 a month. Period.
Oh.
Let me find the thing that I wrote.
We're not close to our next goal at all, I am sure.
Yeah, now we're not at all close to it.
I mean, we're close to I'm worried because if anyone else unsubscribes, then we go back down below the other goal.
Sure,
We're
but
close
whatever.
to our last goal.
We got it, and now we're close again. Please help us.
Wait, I guess that means 308 mentions we're really close to our next goal.
Whatever.
Oops.
Yeah, it
Oops.
did.
We're
But
all wrong. We're sorry.
whatever. I put in the new one.
Okay.
Oh, am I supposed to read a
Yeah.
thing? It's probably something. Our cat.
Our cat.
Our Calamon.
Our cat is by Mary Cagle.
Cat.
That's Pico. Oh, I didn't tell our listeners about Pico, did I?
Is that really a plug for this week?
Yeah.
I'm going to plug my cat roommate, who is not my cat.
He lives in your
Very
bachelor
soft.
pad with you.
He lives in my bachelor pad with me, while his mom is in California and then in Israel. So I get a cat for a year without having to actually own the cat for his entire life, which is basically great. He bites me.
And you have to give him up after a year.
Yeah, well, at least he didn't poop on you.
Well, I mean, then I have to
we
go
need to
to
talk. We need to
Israel.
tell listeners about how our cat pooped on us.
I didn't hear about this. When was this?
Oh
boy.
So I was doing laundry, and when I do laundry, the cat likes to climb into the clothes, like the clean clothes, and just sit in them and be like, these are warm. I'm a cat, and I'm getting these dirty. But I like to play with him when he does that, and he likes being played with. He likes getting aggressive and running around and biting me and stuff. He likes that. But I put a sheet on him, and this is apparently upset him a little bit. And I like to I don't know. I tend to pet him and grab him and irritate him in places that make him very ferocious or feral back. And this combined with the sheet on top of him, he had a whimper, and I was like, okay, and I stopped. But it was too late. Because then Ashley was and it's he was on the bed where the clothes had been, but he wasn't on the top of the clothes at this point. But the shirt that I put on top of him was because I had clean clothes. And Ashley was sitting with the laptop. The laptop was closed. I guess you were reading or something.
Yeah.
And then Ashley was like, stop, there's poop on the bed. And I was like, what? No, Ashley, that's silly. That's not possible.
And I was like, well, this is definitely poop. So.
Yeah, he leaked a little bit.
Stress poop.
Yeah, I didn't realize the phrase the cats can actually stress poop, and the phrase to have the shit scared out of you was it's a thing.
So we did that to our cat.
I mean, I guess I realized it was a thing for people. I didn't realize it was a thing for cats.
Of course it's a thing for cats. It's a thing for lots of creatures. Rodents do it.
Well,
rodents poop all the time.
That's not evolutionarily beneficial.
To the rodents? I mean,
Just
it can
in general.
be. It can scare your attackers away or gross them out enough to go away.
I mean, that's what happened, right? I was like, stop.
Yeah, this is late at night too because I was finishing laundry and it was 11 and you're like, oh, we need to clean the sheets now.
Yeah, it was 11:30 and I had to clean the comforter.
Yeah. It could have been worse. It could have been on the clothes. It could have been, well, I guess it wasn't on your laptop. So now every time we look at your laptop, we're like, Pixel pooped on this.
I know.
Oh, right.
I'm currently using said pooped on laptop.
Okay, so I think we're gonna include this as like the cut sections at the end, but I might reference it earlier on. Then it'll be really confusing until they listen to the bloopers. Okay. Share the podcast with your friends who are the dragon to your tiger, and don't share the podcast with your friends who poop on your computer. That's not going to make sense to anyone until they listen to the outros.
It'll be great. It's perfect.
It's going to be great.
Keep them in suspense.
And join us next week as we get to have super happy fun times with Beelzemon. Bye.
Oh, is that what we're doing? Bye.
You're not on it, Asher. Bye.
Yeah, Ash, you're going to disappear for a week.
We have a special guest.
Oh.
Watch out.
Oh, yeah, should we tease that? I mean, I mentioned it in the Patreon thing, like with the. Oh wait, I didn't send it out yet. Did I? I didn't send it out yet. I made a draft. I haven't sent it. By the time you listen, it will have been sent. Maybe no, that's the next day. I don't know things.
I don't know. Asher is missing, and somebody else replaces him. That's all you really need to know.
Bye.
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 Digivolve your differences.
Okay, Ashley, let's test. Read the book.
When Vita is falling in love with Katniss during
Copyright
the
infringement.
74th
Copyright
Hunger Games, so is Vita.
Copyright infringement. Copyright infringement.
Peta's name also suggests a direct connection
This is your
between
first
him
flag.
and Panem itself,
Second flag.
as Panem means bread
Third
and
flag.
Peta is a
YouTube
type of
channels
bread.
removed from the internet.